Hello students, welcome to my YouTube channel.
In this course, the unit number 5 is statistics. The first point in the statistics is measures of central tendency. We will explore the different ways to describe the middle value of dataset. So we will cover the mean, median and mode. How to calculate them for the both ungrouped and grouped data. Before moving to the this calculation of mean, median and mode, first we see what is the grouped and ungrouped data. So let's we talk about the ungrouped data. So this is data where each value is separate and distinct with no grouping or categorization. So this is raw data presented as individual values. We can calculate the mean, median, and mode for ungrouped data using the formulas so that we will discuss during the mean, median, and mode calculation. The example of this ungrouped data is given here, as you can see in this. So the marks of the students, so that are given here. So 45, 50, 52. So these are the marks of the individual students. So next type of the data is the grouped data. The grouped data is the data that is organized into intervals or categories. So this data is also called as the class interval or the frequency distribution here. So this is also known as the class intervals or frequency distributions. So we are also going to calculate the mean, median and mode for the grouped data here. So it summarizes the large data set by grouping the values into the range here. The example of the grouped data is given here. As you can see in this, in first column, the score of the students is given here, and in the second column how many students have got the mark in between these two or in this range here. So that is a 40 to 49 marks that student has got. The number of students are 10 students. In the same way, the 5 students have got 50 to 59 marks. So 12 students have got 60 to 69 marks. As here in the grouped data we have seen, so this summarizes the large data set when there are more number of data points. So in that case, so these are reduced by grouping the this data points into the range here. So this is the particularly difference between the ungrouped data and grouped data. So we are going to find out the mean, median and mode. So nothing but the measures of central tendency, so which also defines the middle value of the data set. So for we are going to calculate this for grouped as well as ungrouped data. So let's we see the first measure of central tendency. The first measure of central tendency is mean. So it is a sum of all the observations divided by the number of observations. So the mean is the average value of data set. So the arithmetic mean is the most common measure of the central location of samples here. So then how to calculate the mean value of the data set? Let's we see this. First, we are going to see the calculation of the mean value of the data set for the ungrouped data. As we have seen what is the ungrouped data and grouped data in the previous slide. So first, the calculation of the mean value for the population, or we can say the population mean. So the population mean is the mean of all the values in a entire population, and this is denoted by the mu here. The formula that is used for calculation of the mean of the population is the summation of the all the data values divided by the number of data points here. So in the same way, we can calculate the mean of the samples. The sample mean is the mean of sample of values from the population here. So if you have recorded the 10,000 data points here, we have the data of the 10,000 persons here, and in that we are going to take only the data of the 20 or 30 persons or the students here. So that will be called as the sample. And the mean of the sample is denoted by the x bar. And the formula used for calculation of the mean of the sample is summation of the values of the all the data values of the all these samples divided by total number of samples here. So the capital N indicates the total number of data points in the population, whereas the small n indicates the total number of data points in the sample here. So let's see the one example of calculation of the mean here. So before moving to the that example here, okay, that this is the given pictorial here. So in this example, the mean of the ungrouped data is calculated, as all of you are well familiar about the calculation of the mean of ungrouped data here. So just you have to take the average of the all these values here and divide it by the n here. N is nothing but the number of data points here. So in this, you have to take the average of the 2 plus 5 plus 2 plus 1 plus 5. So this will be equal to the 15 here, and divided by total number of data points are 5. So the mean of the this ungrouped data is 3 here. 3 of mean for the grouped data. So formula used for calculation of mean of grouped data is given here. So mu equal to summation of fi into xi divided by summation of fi, where the summation of fi is nothing but the total number of frequencies here. So in previous slide we have seen what is the grouped data and what is the frequency in the grouped data. So I'm going to explain this with the example also. The sample mean is also calculated by using the similar formula, but only the notation for the sample mean is x bar. Okay, x bar indicates the sample mean, where the mu is nothing but the population mean. So the mean of the grouped data can be obtained by assuming that the each of the raw data values takes the midpoint value of the interval in which it has been placed. Let's see this with example. What is the meaning of this? So in this formula, so f is nothing but the f is nothing but the frequency, and x is nothing but the your data points here. So what is the value of the x value is nothing but the this midpoint value. Okay, we have to calculate the midpoint value for the interval data. So here the marks of the students are given in this example. So 40 to 49 marks. So this is the 10 students have the 40 to 49 marks. 5 students have 50 to 59 marks. 12 students have 60 to 69 marks, and so on here. So for calculation of the mean of the this data here, so we must have the midpoint. As I have told you here, f is nothing but the frequency and xi is nothing but the midpoint. From the given range, we have to find out the midpoint, and the midpoint is calculated by using the this formula. As you can see, class marks for this particular example, the class marks, or in general we can say the midpoint is equals to the upper class limit plus lower class limit divided by true here. So from this we can find out the midpoint here. So midpoint for the this class is given as the 44.5. So 40 plus 49 divided by 44.5, where this class mark is nothing but the value of the xi. Remember that here. Okay, and the frequency is nothing but this number of students we have got the marks in this range here. So this is the frequency here. So fi and xi, you have to take the multiplication of the fi and xi and put in, and you find out the summation of the multiplication of the these two values. So in this way we can find out the mean of a grouped data. So you have to practice this, and you have to now find out the class marks, okay, or the midpoint of the class for each class here. You find out the midpoint of the each class, then after find out the fi into xi for the each class here, and then after find out the summation of the, so here you have to find out the summation of the fi into xi. If you make the summation of this all the values, you will get the summation of the fi into xi, and here you will get the summation of the fi. Here you will get the summation of the fi, and here you will get the summation of the fi into xi. So find out all these values fi into xi. So in this way, we can calculate the mean of a grouped data.